Oh, yeah, the split mix. Nope, I'm dead. You know, you don't need shield or plates. Speed is the key. I tell you why one of the biggest super beginner rookie mistakes is to think, I'm the best, I've got the biggest chip, the hardest hitting guns with huge DPS, and dropped a ton of ISK on my super beast. Spoiler, that's not true. And I'm gonna show you why. So, picture this. You're up against a big hurricane in our, let's say, small Heron scanning ship. The hurricane has autocannons, means lots of DPS. Looks scary as hell. Most new bros think, well, I'm toast, I'm dead. But nah, here's where the magic happens. Those autocannons, they've got tracking speed. That means they can only hit you if you're not moving too fast around them. Always remember, orbiting is the key. If you orbit that hurricane fast enough, the guns can't keep up. They literally can't turn fast enough to track you. Not enough tracking speed. So what happens? They will miss you. Again and again. Your angular velocity, the speed at which you're moving in a circle around them, is too damn high. So the bigger and slower their guns are, the more useless they get against a fast chip. If you're fast enough, it's basically like you're untouchable. That's speed tanking. It's not about having big guns, it's about never getting hit in the first place. Crazy, right? But watch out, here's the deal. If you approach directly, your angular velocity is basically zero. That means you're flying straight at them, like a target dummy in your Heron with a tank-like paper. Super easy for turrets to land hits. Boom, you're dead. Game over, right? Now, if you spiral orbit in, instead of a direct approach, you always will keep your angular velocity high. That makes it way harder for enemy guns to track you. Just double click around in space. Slightly off center, changing your direction as you go. Manually adjust your path in a spiral until you're close. Then hit orbit. Now you're dancing around the hurricane and he's done. If you're in a fast rig or something, you can pretty much speed tank the hurricane until the next downtime. The guns just won't hit you, you're orbiting too fast. But small ships means low DPS, and low DPS means it might take forever to bring the hurricane down. And trust me, even if his turrets can't touch you, he'll drop drones. That's why in this kind of fight the golden rule is simple. Keep him tackled and always, kill the drones first. Kill him fast, keep the pressure up and stay moving. No drones equals no real threat. That's how you outplay a bigger ship. Not with DPS, but with brain and speed. Alright, so I just fitted this poor little battle Heron. Wait a sec. Something's off with the price. Let me check. Ah yeah, I still had the DPS boosters and speed drugs loaded in the cargo. Okay, now we're down to a chill 35 million ISK. This ship does 90 DPS. Yeah, not much, I know, but honestly, pretty decent for a Heron. By the way, the full fit is in the video description below if you want to have a look. Even overheated, you'll only have 115 DPS, so yeah, some drugs can help. In-game only though, alright, not in real life. My fitting is weak like paper. You know, you're basically dead the second you undock. Who cares? Okay, I'm running a massive afterburner on it. Pushes the speed up to 2400 and 3300 when overheated. Got a tracking disruptor to lower the enemy turret tracking and a warp disruptor for tackle. If the enemy gets too close, even if he scrams me, I just web him and speed out. I mean, yeah, running scram plus AB makes sense too, and you should fit it like that, honestly. But I love warping in and tackling the target right away. That's why for me, Disruptor works better. But what if they're using missiles? That's a dirty point. Yes, missiles always hit, as long as they can catch you, but it's not about hit chance. Missiles deal damage based on two things: explosion radius and explosion velocity. The explosion radius is like the size of the boom when the missile hits. If your ship's signature radius is smaller than that explosion, like when you're running an afterburner instead of a MWD, for example only you know, then you're only partially inside the blast zone, and you take reduced damage. But to be honest, partially inside the blast zone is enough to die, because our Heron is like paper. So don't go against missile ships, it will be a suicide run. I will maybe show you that later if I find some targets. Let's find this Merlin in space. Let's do a first test. I'm not warping too close. I'm a big fan of not landing at 0 on my target, so I pre-overheat the disruptor. Landed at, let's see, 21. That's nice. Point, orbit. He's dead. By the way, if you want to warp away, turn off the afterburner, or it will take forever until you warp out. Always remember, turn it off before you hit the warp button. The next good thing is, if the enemies see you coming on D-scan or see you warping in, they'll be like, hey, it's just a regular scanning Heron. So they won't panic and warp out. I spotted a caracal in space, but those caracals use mostly light missiles. Not really what we want to go up against, because my poor little Heron is made of paper. But let me take a quick look. So what's a safe kill? Okay, let's go for the Orthrus instead. With D-scan you'll find targets pretty quickly in space. If not, just drop some combat probes. So let's try to find him. Here he is. He's running a combat site.
Warp anti-active.
Landing perfect below 20 kilometers. Look at my bloody dirty pirate life in EVE Online. Shoot the weak, pop the ship, loot the wreck, sell the loot, and for sure, sell your soul to the devil. You just like that? I love it. Let's do a crazy suicide run. First, we're using all the drugs for speed and DPS we've got. At the end of the day, I will be dead, so who cares? Don't just show the highlights in the videos, like, show the don't do that moves as well. That Gila's sitting in a 410 combat site. Her drones, or those light missiles, are gonna kill me fast. Even if I manage to kill the Gila, it's only gonna be because the NPCs are doing the DPS work. Flying a Heron into 410 combat site is crazy and already a suicide run. But let's do it anyway. Who cares? If you play the game for your fun, go for it. If you play it for your Killboard, stay docked or use an Orthrus for a safe kill. Here we go. Backups also here.
Warp anti-active.
Landing. Let's see. 43 kilometers, that's too far. Let's try a ninja tackle. Yes, point! Tackled, orbit, and let's see. Oh, ja, das wird nix. That's way too many hits and huge damage. Afterburner off, I try to warp out. Nope, I'm dead. Houston, Heron down. But the Gila also dies. And at the end of the day, it was fun. Well, this is not the target I'm looking for, but training is everything, right? So let's kill that poor guy shortly. After my suicide run, I decided to change the fit a bit. I am now running a shield booster and a micro warp drive. That gives me a bit more speed. Plus, the rigs I added way more tank. I also use now a ballistic control system, which brings me up to around 150 DPS. You know, learn, try, die, fit, again I repeat. That's the loop, that's Eve. Oh, by the way, Rancine been gifting me amazing skins for months. She even made one for my brand new battle Heron. Huge thanks again, it looks absolutely sick. Okay guys, part 1 is done. We went over my Heron fits, speed tanking fairy tales, and how to look like you know what you're doing. Next week comes part 2. I will fight in that Heron with blind optimism, only to get absolutely farmed by every space cowboy or low-sec sociopath within D range there is. Should be a masterclass in how to feed someone else's Killboard.